First of all, thank you all for coming back. You knew a lawyer was up after the break and none of you escaped. My name's Dan Hutchinson. I'm here to talk to you about how we can prevent some hidden issues becoming a major disaster, and just work our way through. A bit of a shameless plug to start with. This is what we do. Personal things, commercial things, but aimed at solutions, and we mean solutions for SMEs. We're not about being a broach purchase. So when I talk about commercial things, we're talking about business transactions, we're talking about franchise agreements, we're talking about commercial leases, licensing arrangements, commercial property advice, and of course, to mention it, commercial litigation. That's what we're trying to avoid. On the personal front, the last thing that anyone wants to do, their estate planning more generally, estate administration, estate litigation, and of course there's normally some general litigation, but again, something that we're trying to avoid. Not many people in the room would agree with that statement. Legal services do not need to be a roach purchase. That's what we're trying to change the perception of, and the perception of lawyers more generally. We believe that lawyers should be proactive, and that's what we're trying to do. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how we are proactive. So before I go into that, of course, as a lawyer in the room, there's going to be disclaimers. All general advice. I also want to add too, if you've got your own lawyer and your own lawyer's really good, go back and see your own lawyer. I'm not here to go poaching clients from people. That's not what we're about. I'm here to try and educate people about what we do and what I think lawyers should be doing. So we've got this lovely little wheel here, and if I probe on too long, the only management consultant I know that brings his own watch is going to tap a glass for me. So in your packs that you've got there, you'll all have one of these in there. You don't have to pull it out now. If you're interested in anything here, go through, fill it out, rate yourself. It's not rocket science. 1, you haven't done it. 5, you've got it sorted, you've hit it out of the park. And what hopefully that'll do is give you a picture of, okay, where am I at? Where is my business at the moment? What things do I need to worry about? What should I ask about? And as I said, if you've got your own lawyer, go and ask them about it, and then ask them why they didn't tell you about it, because it's something that should happen and something that we believe very passionately. So the first thing is your goals and objectives. I'm not going to steal Tony's thunder about setting your goals and your business plan, but we need to know about that because we want to know where your business is going. Are you exiting? Are you just getting into business? Are you growing? What are you doing? Because the legal services that you need depend greatly upon that. So if you haven't got that sorted, and you haven't gone to be, shameless plug, to see someone like Tony, or you haven't got your own business plan in place, then it's a bit difficult for somebody to do anything other than a bit of a haphazard plan for you. So we're talking about things like, have you got them written down? Do your employees know about what you want to do? They don't have to know what you want your bottom line to be, but do they know what their job is to then help you reach whatever that goal is going to be? That's an important thing. We talked then about this asset protection. This is something we're pretty keen on. You work hard, you work real hard as small business people. We're small business people. You work stupid hours. The last thing you want to do is make one little silly mistake and the whole lot goes up in smoke. And it's a very, very simple process, even simpler when you start, to get your asset protection right from the start. If you haven't got it in place, well, now's better than never, but that's something that you need to look at. And what we're talking about there is, 1, do you know what it is? 2, what are your at-risk assets? If you're a director, am I signing personal guarantees? There's no point you being a director of a business and standing behind a business and then putting your house on the line. What's the point in doing that? Why have you got a company in place? You need to think about those sorts of things. We'll then move through to your structuring. This is where the accountants come in handy. I know there's a couple in the room. So your accountants come in handy here with your structuring. You need to talk to them about it. If you're paying tax apparently because you're making money, But so there's your tax structuring, and then there's your asset protection structuring as well. But there's also, when you talk about your structuring as well, if you're in partnership with someone, you want to know what happens when things go bad. We're best mates. Tom's in the front row, he's a good bloke. Stand-up bloke. You'll see him present later on. He's sensational. And we are the best mates. And we are going to start this new business selling widgets, and we're going to make a killing. So we're just going to go into it. What do you want, 80%? I said 80%. I think you're going to get 20%. I'm getting 80%. That's very basic. They're the sort of things you've got to be ironed out early, and you need a hard-wired resolution plan in there to begin with. If you don't have it in there, when you're best friends and you can't come to an agreement then, you're going to be very hard to try and sort it out later. The only one that wins are going to be the lawyers that don't have a swimming pool that want one or want to upgrade their savings account. That's what I call that's my swimming pool speech. So, once you work out what your structure is and you've got everything in place and you know what you're doing and who's doing what, and I'm getting 80% and Tom's only getting 20%, and I've got him to sign it. I think I've got to think about my employees, because I'm just going to pick on the front row. They're going to throw Neil in there, and he's going to come on as an employee, but on what terms? On what conditions? Yeah, mate, turn up. Give you a few hundred. We'll sort this out. We'll keep punching out these widgets. Sensational. I'm getting 80%. I'm getting 80%. Tom's getting 20%. Sensational. If you don't have your employment contracts right, you can get yourself into big trouble. Because all of a sudden, I've got this great idea up here that I then go and see Tony about and put the stuff into action where we're punching out double anyone else can do. Better quality. And my employee says, geez, that's good. We go and set up next door. And I run him out of town. I know that I can do it for half the price. I can undercut him. He's taught me everything I know. And then I think I'm a bit smarter than he is as well. So you need to be careful about who you employ, and you have to be careful about what terms you employ people on. Because again, you're a small business owner, you're putting things in place, you're working really, really hard, and that person that you were relying on, and you're finally getting out and starting to meet clients and shake hands, and the money's flowing and whatever else, and they say, yeah, by the way, hey Dan, I'm going. Tom says, Dan, I'm going. See? Didn't do anything up here, didn't do anything with my employment agreements. And he walks out the door, and all of a sudden my business is worth nothing. Your premises. The number of people that we go in to see, yeah, we own our premises, right? How do you own that? Oh, I'm a self-managed super fund. Good. That's good. You got a lease in place? What's that? You got a commercial tenancy agreement in place? What's that? It'll be great when the accountant's in the room and the ATO comes knocking and you haven't got arrangements in place. You need to make sure that your premises is secure and that you're in a position to be able to sell your business and not necessarily your premises as well. And that's something we can help you do and separate those things out. It comes back to your asset protection as well. All of these things are linked. Tony's told me I've got 2 minutes left. I'm stealing his watch. Suppliers. You need, if you're getting suppliers, they need to be guaranteed. You need to have more than one. They're simple things that you can have in place. Do you know what's in your supply agreements? Do you not know what's in your supply agreements? They're things that you need to be aware of before all of a sudden whoever's supplying me with materials for my widgets then decides he's going to stop supplying me, and then I can't fill contracts here, and I'm having a fight with him here, and then all of a sudden I've got 2 different pieces of litigation on foot. One where he won't give me what I need to do to fill my order here, and this guy's suing me because I haven't given him what I've promised I'm going to give him. Your terms of trade are important. Put your hand up here if you give credit. Put your hand up here if you don't take money up front. No one's going to put their hand up. If you put money up, if you don't take money up front, you're a bank. Nobody here looks like Westpac, Commonwealth Bank or NAB. If you are giving credit, you need your terms of trade sorted. We've had a client, and this is part of the reason we do this, a client last year lost $150,000 to a building company that went under because they didn't have things in place. We tried to chase them. They then were standing about 10th when I went home from work at 7 o'clock one night. by 9:30 the next morning we were sitting at about 15th, and there's about $3 million ahead of us. So we're absolutely no chance of getting anything. So getting those things right to start with is very, very important. Finally, your personal things are just as important. Noel's already touched on it. Your estate planning, your business succession planning. If you look at your business partner and you say, look, I don't want to go into a partnership with my partner's wife, who in my case happens to be my mum, then you need to make sure that you've got all of those things sorted so that that doesn't happen and you don't have to end up in partnership with them, and you've got to make sure that your family is effectively protected. That's all I've got time for, but if you do, anyone does want to fill one of these out, our details are there. You want to email it to me because you're here tonight. The free 20 minutes on the phone in relation to this to talk you through it. We'll probably even come out and have a cup of coffee with you, and we'll run through whatever recommendations we might have for you, obligation free.